Hello, crafting friends. It's Doreen DeSivas from It Begins with Ink and Paper, and welcome to Simply Stamping. Sorry I couldn't make it live on Sunday night. I was dealing with a little bit of vertigo, so I decided to take the night off so I could recover. So I'm here now. Rushed home from school. I probably should have made this a half hour later so I had a little bit more time, but I rushed home from school and here I am, and I am showing you this week, well, for the month of November, the Ornamental Christmas Stamp Set. And as I said last Friday night, we're going to be doing Christmas cards all month, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's get started. So this is a cling stamp set. It's one of the last few cling stamp sets. I'm going to be using most of the greetings tonight, and I'm going to be using the designer series paper that comes with this bundle. It does have some great dies with it. It cuts some of the trees and also cuts some ornaments out, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to use that this month in Simply Stamping Sunday too. So it has, for sentiments, be jolly, 'tis the season, Merry Christmas, and wishing you peace and joy. And then we have stars and trees, and I think we're going to have fun with it this month. So we have 5 Sundays in the month of November. So my plan is that we're going to do 4 weeks like we normally do with Simply Stamping Sunday, and then on the 5th Sunday we're going to have some fun with the whole bundle and just see some more dramatic cards that we can make. So be looking for that 5th Sunday after Thanksgiving. And so let's get started on the 3 cards I have for tonight. So our first card, this is the first card we're going to make. As I said, we're going to be using the fabulous designer series paper and all of the cards that we're making tonight. So we're going to have some looking for black, white, and gold. That's going to be our theme. So what do I need to make this card? I need a piece of basic, and it is 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm just going to fold that in half to get ready for the front of the card. Set that aside. We have a piece of, this is the designer series paper. On one side of the designer series paper we have that gold embossing, which is just so beautiful. And then we have a black and white design on the other side. So this is the tree one. So I have a piece, this measures 5.25 inches by 4 inches. And then I have a piece of basic black that measures 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. Sorry about that. I kind of went a little brain dead. I did that at school today too. So I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of this. I hate covering up those beautiful gold stars, but we must for this design. And I'm going to put this on the piece of black cardstock, and then this is going to eventually, I think I'll put everything on the front. This eventually is going to go on the front of the card. So then I have a piece of gold foil, and I have a piece of the designer series paper, and I cut it so these 3 trees were right in the center. I used a different set of trees. There's a whole bunch of trees on this piece of designer series paper, and so I chose, we're going to be focusing on those trees tonight for a lot of our cards, so I focused on the different pieces. So the piece of designer series paper measures 1 7/8 by 2.5, and the piece of gold measures 2 by 2 5/8. So let's mount those on top of each other. These are going to be really quick cards tonight because, remember, for Simple Stamping Sunday, I just used stamps, ink, and paper, and that's all we're using tonight. So there we go. We have that mounted. Then I have another piece of gold and a piece of basic white. The piece of gold is 2 inches by 5.25, and the piece of white is 1 3/4 by 5.25. And on this piece, I am going to be stamping 'tis the season, and I'm going to use the Memento black ink. Okay, and I'm going to be stamping this towards the left-hand side. There we go. So it's stamped nicely there. I'm going to close the ink pad so I don't putting it in by mistake, and I'm going to put some of my adhesive on the back of the white. I'm going to add this. They're the same length, so we're just going to see the gold on the top and the bottom of this piece. There we go. And this is going to go right across the front of this, and we're just going to see a little black on each side. And I'm going to put it so I can see a little bit of the trees at the bottom and some of the trees at the top. Did not put that on evenly, and it's going to bother me if I don't fix it. So let's just fix it. Hope everyone's having a good start to their week. For me, it's been a crazy start because we ended our first quarter. I can't believe we're 1/4 of the way through the year. We ended our first quarter yesterday, and our new quarter with a new schedule started today. So it was kind of a chaotic day in my world today, getting used to a new schedule and the kids getting used to their new specials and, you know, just a new routine. So I'm just going to put this onto my card front. It's not going to have very much of a border, but there we go. We got it nicely. And then what we're going to do with this is put dimensionals on it to pop it up a little bit. If you have a lot of Christmas cards to make, you are probably going to want to have some easy cards, some easy ones that you can make quickly and take to people at work or mail out. Simple cards also without a lot of embellishments and a lot of thickness on them. Cost less as well to mail. So there are some great benefits to making simple Christmas cards. Like I said, time, less cost in mailing if they're not super thick. And around the holidays, I don't know about you, but I need as much time. Card design, it would not take us long at all to make a whole mess of these. So here is our first card for the evening. Kind of cool. I'm going to set that one aside, and we're going to get out our next card. What I'm going to try to do this month is not only just show you Christmas cards, but I'm going to be showing some Christmas tags and some 3x3 cards that you can use as gift enclosures. So we no longer sell the 3x3 envelopes, but you can. I actually have some left, but you can find them at other stores. So using the same paper that we're using and another piece, we are going to be making a 3x3 gift enclosure. So this is great to make a really nice decorated 3x3 card that you can put in with a gift, and then you don't have to necessarily give another card on top of it. So what I like to do is also decorate the envelope a bit, so that when we're putting this together. So let's show you how you do that. So I just took regular basic white paper. I didn't even think about using some thick basic white because it's just a little tiny card. And what I have here is a 3x6 piece of basic white cardstock, and that I'm just going to fold in half. And this is the perfect size for a gift bag enclosure or to put on top of a gift. And so what I have are just a couple of little things. We have one of the black and white designs is the fa la la, and on the other side it has a really big, bold, like mistletoe with on that. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to take a 1/2 by 3 inch piece of gold foil paper, and I am actually going to attach my designer series paper to that, so it just has a little bit of it showing. And that's why I use just a little piece of the gold. This is a way to add a nice gold background to designer series paper, or a touch of gold, without using a lot of your gold cardstock. Mini card. And because it measures the same measurement as the card itself, the width at least, it's going to go right down. And let me just, again, I want it to be nice and even. I'm going to bring it all the way down to the edge. Make sure it's nice and straight, and put that on the front of my card. If I have a little piece coming off the edge, I can just trim that right off. I just have a little tiny, it's not quite perfect. So there we go. Now what I did out of the paper is I just took one of the trio of trees and cut them out. I'm not using the same design. Like I said, there's lots of different designs of these trio of trees. So I cut one for here, and I'm using a different one. I'm going to be adding dimensionals to that. And because I have some little peaks, I'm going to also be adding some of the really tiny dimensionals just to get towards the top of those peaks so they don't bend over too much. And I think if I cut one in half, I can get it onto the star. Becomes a very little dimensional. Just make sure that you can't see it. And then for the rest of this, I can use my larger dimensionals. Before I actually put this on the front of the card, I'm going to do my stamping. There we go. That's enough. We don't need a lot for this little tiny card. And I'm going to use Be Jolly for this one. And I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper. Sure, this one is straight. So I know how to stamp it. So I'll get that nice and inked up. And I'm going to stamp that right here on the front. And then I'm going to put our leaves. Now when I make, I like my 3x3 cards to look really nice. But I also know this is a gift enclosure, and it's not always going to be one that's going to reach the mantle for display. So I definitely like not spending a lot of time on them. So that is my card. Quick, easy, will be great for a gift bag. I cut some of the fa la la paper. This one here, the way my envelope comes in a little bit, I just cut this from leftover paper, so it doesn't quite go all the way to the edge. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of the envelope a little bit narrower. This was another way I can save some paper. And then I'm going to actually put the adhesive right here on the envelope so that I don't have to worry about having the adhesive stick off the other side and make a mess. So I'm getting my envelope pretty well glued up. And then I also want to think about when I close my envelope, the fa la la needs to go this way. Oops, and that was not a smart move to do at all. with that much adhesive. So I'm going to add my fa la la. And then all I have to do is trim it. And then I have a nice matching card and envelope. And here we have it. So I really want to set this out of the way. And now we'll make our final card. And as the cards go, I really like this design. And I think you're really going to like some of the paper that I use with it. So this design, I'm going to put it in the credits. I saw a design like this. I've changed it a little bit from, another demonstrator's website. And I just thought it was so cute how the different layers were layered. Like I said, I've changed it up a bit. What I really want you to notice is this white paper that I'm using in the background. I'm going to hold that up a little closer. We are selling some 12 by 12 sheets of textured cardstock. So I'm not sure if you can see the snowflakes in the back of this. There, I think you can see it. So this textured cardstock is so nice. It's a way to just use your cardstock and put some nice stuff with it, and really add some dimension to the back of your cards. So I have here a piece of 5.5 by 8.5 basic black cardstock. So like I said, this is going to be a month of gold, black, and white. So simple. Material you probably have on hand next week. And we have just the beautiful designer series paper. And I'm going to start by taking a 3/4 inch by 5.25 piece of the designer series paper, one of the designs that I'm using. And we're going to put that on the bottom. And then we're going to put this on the inside of the card. And we're going to put this piece on the inside of our card. Quick and easy for the inside. Now, based on who I send the Christmas card to, I do, but it changes for who I'm sending the card to. If it's a friend who I know is very devout Catholic or very religious, I'm going to use something that has more of a religious tone stamp to it. If it is someone who, they have all different faiths and all different beliefs. So this way I can kind of custom make cards for everybody. All right, so I have taken 2 pieces with the gold stars, and they measure 1.25 by 2.5. Then I have 2 larger pieces. The design I just showed you, and that measures 1.25 by 2.75. And then I have my center design. Again, I chose one of the trio of trees. They do have some that are just doubles, but they also have the trio. And this one measures 1.5 by 3 inches. And then I have some basic black cardstock that I'm going to use to mat all of this. So the smaller designs are going to go on a piece that measures 1 3/8 by 2 1/8. The middle size design is 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. And then the larger design is 1 5/8 by 3 1/8. And again, I will be having this posted in my Facebook and on my Google channel. The Facebook, it will be in the comments, and on my YouTube channel, it will be in the description. All of that is going to happen later tonight because as some of you know, I am retiring at the end of the school year, and tonight I am attending a retirement seminar. It starts actually right when I'm done with this, and I just want to go to that and really give that my full attention. And then after the seminar, it goes from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So I'm hoping I'll have a little bit of time to eat in between, and as I said, a little later tonight. So thank you for your understanding on that. I just want to make sure I'm filling out things and meeting the deadlines that I have to meet so everything will go smoothly. And there's a lot to learn. If you haven't retired yet, just be ready for a big learning curve. That is what I have discovered. So, as I said, I just love this paper. And one of the things this paper has in it, in the suite, are these beautiful gold rings. I think I have them right here. I'm going to show you on that last week, or I'll show you on a Fun Fold Friday, how to make some ornament cards. And it also comes with this beautiful black and white trim that is just has gold all through it. So it really has some nice nice things to go with the suite that I will use on that last week. And I know that I will do something with this set for Fun Fold Friday. And of course, I will be making some cards that I will be posting on my Facebook page for those daily cards, the cards of the day. I hope you really enjoy seeing those. You always get to see the things that I've made on my lives, but then I also add cards that I've made that I've just made. So this piece is measured 4 inches by 5 1/4, and this is that textured snowflake paper. So I am going to just center these pieces of black with the stars on either end. So this is a really easy card to put together. And if you didn't, you could get away too without mounting it on a black sheet of paper. So that's up to you if you want to do that or not. So I'm going to add my adhesive to both of these. He's catching. So now I'm going to do just the same exact thing. I'm just going to put these over a little. I'm not pressing it down all the way until I get everything on so it looks even on both sides, and making sure it's straight. Okay, we have that. I'm going to put this on the front of the card because I'm going to use dimensionals to attach the next piece. But again, you can see how fast this card is going together as well. And this is going to be a really pretty card. So then on this piece, I'm going to use dimensionals. And we'll put one in the middle. I could use dimensionals on all of these and have it become a really thick card, but I didn't want to add too much thickness to the card, just so that it would get through the mail with regular postage. Okay, so I'm going to center this over these two pieces. And now we just have to add our greeting to the front. But I just love how this looks. Okay, so I've got some scraps of basic white and basic black, and I'm going to use this stamp that says wishing you peace and joy, and this is the one that I know is not stamping as straight as I would like it to. I am going to cut this, but it's easier to cut if it's all nice and straight. So let's just see what it's doing. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to ink this up again. And I am going to stamp this piece. I am going to go towards the bottom. And I wiggled that around a little bit. Let me see. The wishing got a little bit crooked, so I'm just going to turn this over. Otherwise, it's stamped fine. It was nice and straight. But I did just wiggle that. I knew it the second I did it. So again, I'm going to go down towards the bottom. Carefully do that, and I'm happier with that. Okay, so now I'm going to take this. For me, is easier to cut with my paper cutter, even though it's not that big of a piece. But I find that the smaller I'm trying to cut something, the worse I do if I'm using my scissors. So I just do much better this way. And that moved, so it didn't really cut what I wanted. So we're going to try it one more time. It's better to go up from the bottom on something like this, because it will more than likely stay in place. There we go. And now I'm just going to cut those ends off. Super easy. I wouldn't mind cutting that with scissors. Alrighty. Okay, so I just felt this was too long for the front of the card. So what I did was I cut it between wishing you, the U in the piece. So I just cut that piece. And then what I wanted to do, I wanted to have some black on the ends. So this is just a tiny, tiny bit bigger than this piece of black paper. And what I think is going to be the best to add some adhesive to it is to just use some glue dots. They will fit on the back. I won't have to worry about adhesive getting all over the place and hanging over the sides and all that good stuff. Right here. And then I'm just going to cut the edge. So I have two pieces, just have that little black showing. This piece is going to go on the wishing you. So we'll have it hanging over like that. And again, I'm just going to use some glue dots. And I'm just going to put the glue dots on this end. So I don't want to cover up all my stars, so I'm going to go just below and then still be able to see both sets of stars. Now I'm going to take wishing you peace and love. I'm going to get some more glue dots and glue this on the piece of black again. There we go. Cut the end off again. Add some more glue dots. This time the peace and joy end will get the glue dots. And this is going to go towards the bottom of the card. And that is what the card looks like when it's all said and done. I really like this card. I like all of them, but this one is just a little bit fancier, and this is the one that I used as I used another card as inspiration for this one, and I will post that in the comments. All right, so this is our first week of Simply Stamping Sunday with the Ornamental Christmas Stamp Set. And so the cards that we made the 2 Christmas cards and then the gift bag enclosure card. So I hope you really enjoyed this first week of Ornamental Christmas. I will be back Sunday night, and we will be doing more with this stamp set and this color combo. And of course, I'll be back Friday night for another week of Fun Fold Friday. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. Good night.